Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies, Director of Sustainability, Michael Bauer.
It is a tradition at Naropa University to begin all significant gatherings of beloved community with a bow. The bow acknowledges and honors the qualities of warriorship, the courageous path of being fully present in the moment with wakeful intelligence that we all strive to achieve. It also binds us together in a mindful moment of community before the start of the next adventure. With that, let's begin with a bow. Good morning. Welcome to Naropa University's Fall 2020 Virtual Commencement Ceremony. My name is Michael Bauer, and today I have the pleasure and honor of acting as your Master of Ceremonies. It gives me great joy to welcome all of you to this fall's commencement ceremony, especially our graduating students hailing from all over the country and from countries outside of the United States. Today's commencement reflects back on a year of disruption and chaos, but also of resilience and connection. And we hope today will give you a chance to reflect on your great ability to adapt, to change, and to rise to the occasion. It is now my pleasure to introduce President Charles Leaf. Chuck was named the 7th president of Naropa University in 2012 and has a deep connection to Naropa that spans more than 40 years, from flannel shirts and Birkenstocks to wool suits and boardroom meetings. But whatever his footwear of choice, the high point of Chuck's year is the opportunity to share a few words with you Naropa graduates and your loved ones on this important day.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome the graduates, along with Naropa faculty, staff, students, members of the Board of Trustees, family and friends, to our 2020 graduation. It's a joy to share this ritual and to celebrate your successful completion of the academic, creative, and experiential work needed to receive a Naropa degree. While it goes without saying that we'd rather be celebrating in person, nothing about our format diminishes the power of your accomplishments or in any way dilutes the deep community connections we have with one another. I don't want to dwell on the health and safety challenges we are sharing, since that's been the common denominator for the past 10 months. But I believe it's always appropriate to express gratitude. Gratitude to the staff and faculty of Naropa for your exceptional care for the welfare of our community, for all the hard work needed to pivot to our new learning forms, and for bringing such commitment to the student journey. I know you've done this hard work while managing your own personal and family challenges. And thanks to the students for showing so much care for one another. The fact that our community has had such an extremely low rate of COVID cases is a testament to the group compassion, the care you've shown for each other. And I also want to thank each of you for staying the course and completing this phase of your Naropa journey. There are a lot of reasons that some people have elected to take a break. I appreciate how such decisions were essential, whether to support parents, partners, or children, or to care for themselves. And we look forward to their return. One of the profound outcomes of holding a contemplative view and practice, I think, is that we have tools to accommodate whatever the universe offers. Pain or pleasure, hope or fear, chaos or ordinariness. Each graduate here today is a testament to your academic accomplishments and your skill in navigating these turbulent days. As many of you have heard before, our founder, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, famously taught the arrival of chaos should be regarded as extremely good news. We're now swimming in an ocean of good news. In addition to COVID, we're dealing with other social issues, most notably racism, the fact and the attitude, arising not only from police action, but from institutional, community, and personal manifestations as well. Most of us want to believe that we're facing a solvable problem, but the solutions are many in number, hard to implement, and require a level of personal inquiry that's uncomfortable for most of us to engage in. Naropa aspires to be an anti-racist institution. For that aspiration to be anything more than hollow words, however, we must first state the intention clearly and without doubt. Then our entire community needs to come together from places of honesty and fearlessness, even if that means shining a light on corners we've kept deliberately in the dark. As a community, we also need to explore the difference between anti-racist view, practice, and action, and a temptation to demonize others primarily for their different political and social perspectives. It's too easy and cynical to hold the view that bias and racism is somehow the birthright of one particular political party or embedded in the genes of a particular population. This is not easy work. And the work we're doing inside Naropa is not different from the challenges that you'll confront wherever you land, using the skillful means sharpened during your time here. Engaging from a perspective of mindfulness and the honest self-inquiry which contemplative practice supports, and with the self-compassion and care for others, which is the natural outcome of our practice, is a grounded and an impactful way to engage the world. Naropa faculty invited each of you to invest your intellectual energy in understanding the social constructs that support or undermine racist attitudes, in how our minds and bodies nurture and hold fixed views, how neuroscience and mysticism inform our embodied learning, and how the ways we engage in the world as teacher, healer, activist, or creator will directly affect our social evolution. I invite each of you to share your successes and your challenges so that we may continue to learn from one another. Our graduation ceremony today offers an important chance to mark the power and meaning of this moment in time. We're declaring the point of completion of a learning journey that will never be complete, and celebrating accomplishment when there is so much more to accomplish. But I think it's always good and powerful to collectively stop our minds, open our hearts, and bear witness to our shared experiences and shared commitment, a commitment to heal a world that is in such need of healers like each one of you who are graduating today. Congratulations to you all. Thanks for enriching Naropa. I wish you great joy as you set forth on your continued journey and warmly invite you to check in with what inspired you about Naropa as you confront the inevitable obstacles and brilliantly find your way through. Thank you, be well, and be happy.
Thank you, Chuck. Next, I would like to welcome Swecha Rajbandari, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology and Visual Arts. Swecha is blessing our ears with a performance, singing Hula Akas Asta Tamang Maski. Hula Akas is a Nepali song about the endless freedom and possibility that the infinite sky holds, and an invitation to spread our wings and fly in search of the adventures that eagerly await us. The song encourages us to embrace the sweetness of our dreams and weave them into our realities, to leave behind despair and treasure the flame of hope that glows in our hearts, and navigate the challenges in our lives by learning to adapt and flow, just as the river adapts and flows, humbly and graciously, greeting each obstacle that it encounters on its journey.
Kula akash parkhidai tan udan hamro शानसित उड्न सक्छौँ घुँचो पङ्खा भर छैन छेकिएको नदिएर आजाद भई बगेको शिलासित ठक्कर खाँदै बाटो खोज्दै हिँडेको उडे फेरि आज हल्का हल्का टाढा शिमलको भुवासरी खुला आकाशभरि टाढा टाढा उडे फैलिएको जो पङ्खा छाडेर अब निराशा मनमा आशा साँच्नेछौँ सपना कुनै मिठो बुनेर विपनामा ढाक्नेछौँ उडे फेरि आज हल्का हल्का टाढा शिमलको भुवासरी खुला आकाशभरि टाढा टाढा उडे फैलिएको जो पङ्खा टाढा टाढा उडे फैलिएको जो पङ्खा टाढा टाढा उडे
Thank you. Thank you, Swecha. That was beautiful. It's as if as we go along this year, things are getting a little strange, a little challenging, disruptive. Yeah? Oh, there's no one here? I'm talking to myself? Oh, okay, good. It is now my pleasure to introduce our honored faculty guest speaker, Stephen Polk, MA. Stephen is one of the most knowledgeable, skilled, and nicest people you will meet at Naropa, and he's an incredible teacher. Stephen is an assistant professor in the BA Environmental Studies and MA Resilient Leadership programs, where he teaches permaculture, civic engagement, human rights, and global justice. He is currently chair of Cauldron, Naropa's faculty senate. Stephen?
Greetings, Naropa graduating class of 2020, to all the friends and family. First, I would like to give thanks to President Leaf and Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Susan Bergeraff, to Associate Dean Candace Walworth, who invited me to speak today. I would like to thank the administration, the staff, my dear faculty, distinguished alumni, to all the parents who are watching, to my parents, for that matter, all of us together, whether intentionally or consciously or not, have made this moment possible. I would also like to thank the farmers, the truck drivers who haul our food, the grocery store workers who sell it. I would also like to thank the bacteria in the soil, the plants and the animals, as well as all of those throughout the course of history who sacrificed and fought tirelessly for democracy and freedom. Without them, none of us would be here today. And of course, with deep love and gratitude for the graduating class of 2020, you made it. Congratulations. However long my list of thanks, there is intention here. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to weave together some lessons I've learned from my years of practice in democracy, in ecology. This speech, no doubt, is derived from my own experiences, my expertise, and my passions. So I'll spare you all the watchwords of 2020, the unprecedentedness of it all. Beyond this moment, you will not hear me say things like, so when 2020 started, 5 years ago. So I won't go into detail about specific social and political fissures and ecological crises we're experiencing. They're present, they're real, they're dangerous for sure. Many of them we may solve, and most certainly others will emerge. The most critical question before each of us, before each of you, is how will you respond? And here's a story about how I responded with a few lessons along the way. I was a really awkward kid. I was socially awkward, socially anxious, and deathly afraid of public speaking. I remember signing up for a public speaking course as a sophomore in college, and after 15 minutes of the first class, dread crept up my spine, and it entered into my brain, which caused neurons to fire, which activated the muscles in my legs, which walked me straight to the door, out of the door, and I was gone, and I never returned. Though my memory of this moment is spotty, I imagine yelling back at the professor as the door slammed, "It's not you, it's me! I can't do public speaking!" But holy cow, was I passionate about politics. I was a freshman when the tragic events of September 11th transpired. By the end of that very month, I was attending protests, first against the war in Afghanistan and then Iraq. It would be an understatement to say that protesting the war during this moment of national crisis was quite unpopular. In retrospect, it actually took a lot of courage, especially for the socially awkward kid that I was. This was perhaps the first moment when I learned what moral courage looks like, what it feels like. In essence, I think it is the ability to follow through on a just vision of the world despite prevailing public opinion. And then after both wars started, I was crestfallen. I was still intensely passionate about politics and democracy though. And I couldn't get out of my head this chant that was used in the anti-war movement. It was like a mantra. It was like a mantra, an obsession for me. It was, another world is possible. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. But at that time, there were very few examples of what this other world looked like and smelled like and tasted like. It was then that I set my gaze on living in democratically managed cooperative houses as a means of concretely bringing this world into existence. You see, it was during the anti-war protests that we learned methods of democratic organizing by way of consensus democracy. If we were pushing for a more democratic society, we believed, then why not practice it in our movements? We applied this same logic into our cooperative houses. It was 2004 that we established our first house. And every week, usually a Monday or Sunday night, we sat in consensus democracy meetings without fail. And it's a ritual that I've been practicing in houses as small as 5 and as large as 25 ever since, for the last 16 years of my life. As a political practice, but also a contemplative practice in every sense of the word, these meetings developed my sense of self. In essence, I self-actualized by working with others. I'm not sure if there are any other way to do it. Democracy taught me how to reconcile my self-interest in a larger group. It developed my capacities to meaningfully and effectively work with others, to reconcile disagreements amicably, and to realize our collective power in pursuit of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusivity to end wars at every chance that we got. It was empowering in that sense as well. It also taught me how to advocate for myself, indeed, to become my own champion, all the while learning that to become a champion, you need your housemates and your friends and your family and your teachers and your preachers and mentors to be champions too. It's mutual. It's mutual because we're all connected. And again, the success of one is achieved on the shoulders of all. And all the people rest on our shoulders individually as well. And this is the responsibility and interdependence that democracy teaches us. True democracy as such is incompatible with racism or white supremacy and other oppressions that are currently on the rise. This is the democracy that so many of our predecessors have fought and died for. And it is democracy that we must fiercely defend now and into the future. And especially now. But due to rigorous practice and democratic process, I was transformed from a socially awkward teenager, deathly afraid of public speaking, to what I am now, a socially awkward adult who is pretty effective in facilitating often high-stakes meetings with community and university leaders, with elected officials. And I'm fairly decent at public speaking, though that dread still seizes my spine from time to time. So while one can experience the interconnection of all beings through democratic process, it's also a foundation of Buddhism and many Eastern religions. And it's also a foundational concept in ecology. Everything in an ecosystem is connected and interdependent. Just as we all are all interdependent as a species, as humans, so too we are an integral component to the greater than human world, full of boundlessly beautiful plants and animals, and nearly innumerable bacteria in the soil. Again, thank you, bacteria in the soil. And it was shortly after moving into a housing cooperative that I dived headfirst into the verdant soil of gardening and permaculture. Permaculture is a combination of permanent agriculture and also permanent culture. It's a design process that cultivates our ability to imagine bountiful ecosystems that repair the planet while providing material sustenance for just social systems that heal people. Beyond imagination, we learn how to implement and maintain those systems. And this is critical. In permaculture, we learn how to envision. We learn how to imagine verdant ecosystems and just social systems where only thirsty grass and racism exist. It's precisely this ability to imagine, to envision, and to implement that is so critical at this moment in history. So what does this all mean? Well, first, the development of your vision is critical. To accomplish your vision, you need a dedicated practice. Mine was democratic process and ecological design, as well as other contemplative practices. Yours will most likely be different. But one thing I ask is that we take our own practices seriously. This is how we achieve our greater self, our greatest self. And in addition to taking our practices seriously, we also need to take democracy seriously as a practice, politics seriously as a practice, and ecological design seriously as a practice. So what is your vision? What do you aspire to? And what are your passions? And I can't ask this seriously enough. I often urge my students, whether they're working on a class project or plotting their next steps in life, start here. Your vision and your passion. Because venturing out into the world without a vision is like getting in a car without a destination. It doesn't matter if you turn left or right, or pursue this field or accept that job, because there's no destination, no vision. And please, regarding your visions, be unapologetically audacious. Audacious is defined as a willingness to take surprisingly bold risks. So however bold and surprising your vision may be, you do have to begin exactly where you're at, just like I did, and reverse engineer from there. Create a list of strategic goals that, once achieved, create the conditions for ever larger goals to be realized, all in the service of your vision. This is an incredibly powerful approach, not only in permaculture and your own lives, but again, also politically as well. So don't be afraid to engage in audacious political projects that develop our community's ability to deepen democracy and care for nature. So this should come as no surprise, especially for those of us engaged in contemplative practice. There will be pitfalls. You will fall down. And this is okay. In fact, you can learn a lot from failure. And while you're pursuing your vision, you may find another road, path, or highway to carry you to a home you never knew existed, but beautiful all the same. In other words, remain open. The failures, the falls, the course changes, however, are all made easier so long as you have strong community, friends, family, and thriving ecosystems surrounding you. Remember, you are interdependent with them. We all are. Cultivate those relationships. This is something you will never regret. Also, you may have heard this if you had the good fortune of attending one of my classes, but take time to relax, fight like hell, but also enjoy life too, especially in this moment of upheaval, and in spite of this moment of upheaval. There's never a better time for this practice, and it is a practice. Joy is your birthright, and just like your relationships and politics and ecosystems, they need to be cultivated as well. Finally, in conclusion, to change the world, to ensure democracy does not go extinct with the animals and the plants and the bacteria, engage yourselves deeply in democracy, in politics, in ecosystems. Deepen your sense of self in relation to others through rigorous practice, all of this in the service of your vision. And it starts with you where you're at, with your vision of a just, peaceful, and regenerative world. And with that, I bid you farewell, as well as a deep thanks and deep love to the graduating class of 2020. Thank you.
Next, I would like to welcome an incredibly gifted, creative, caring, and deeply funny member of our community, Caroline Swanson, Swanee, who will lead a few of our graduates in the tradition of creating a spontaneous poem for this very special occasion. Swanee Astrid is the nom de plume for this poet-scribe from Sacramento, California, who moved to Colorado in 2014 for her MFA in Writing and Poetics from Naropa University. She has worked in various positions at Naropa since graduating and continues to write about trauma, ecology, and mythopoesis. Swanee?
The spontaneous poem at Naropa University is a long-standing tradition dating back to the beginning of the school. It should be fun, friendly, and good-natured, and include the intensified on-the-spot quality, or the dynamic moment in which your wisdom is called on. As Chogyam Trungpa wrote of the spirit of composing in this way, our message is simply one of appreciating the nature of things as they are and expressing it without any struggle of thoughts and fears. We give up aggression, both toward ourselves, that we have to make a special effort to impress people, and toward others, that we can put something over on them. Our message is simply one of appreciating the nature of things as they are, and the energy of our community coming together for this special, culminating event. In this way, we commemorate the collective atmosphere as we initiate yet another cycle with individuals continuing their journey from Naropa to the awaiting world. And oh, does it need your wisdom, your compassion, and spiritual fire? This year, we will be selecting 6 individuals to contribute one of 6 lines to a community poem. When chosen, you could stand, take a breath, feel the ground underfoot, and open to the space of that moment. There is no rush. To compose a line, forget the one you were already, probably thinking about. The practice is to try to go beyond premeditation or contrivance, and simply say what comes up spontaneously in a phrase. Allow the moment of composition to take place as a contemplative exercise. Perhaps it speaks to you coming from the body's sensations, sight, smell, sound, taste, touch. Perhaps it speaks to you as an image. The important thing is to not self-edit. Keep a light feel for the lines spoken up to that point without over-conceptualizing them. This can help tune into the spontaneous process. Allow the line to form in words and speak it aloud for the convocation scribe, myself, to record. The line will be repeated to make sure it is properly recorded. And so we begin. Okay. Morgan, would you please offer us the first line of this spontaneous poem?
Do you want me to write it in the chat?
Please offer it through your voice and post it to chat as well. So we have that running recording as well.
As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay.
As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. Lily, would you please offer us the next line of this poem?
We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings.
As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. Fiona, would you please give us the next line of this poem?
When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and silent poems, we can remember.
As though we grow, time will remain uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and violent poems, we can remember. Anthony, would you please offer us the next line to this poem?
The line we walk is thick with the aura of the primordial womb.
As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and violent poems, we can remember. The line we walk is thick with the aura of the primordial womb. Katya, would you please?
I said silent, but I mean, violent's kind of an interesting take too. Just put that out there.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
I try to listen and catch what is important. So, silent. That's also just the spirit of composing and hearing a different kind of spontaneity as well. Thank you. Katya, would you please offer us the next line to this poem?
Can you read it again, just so I have the fresh
Yes.
power?
Yes. As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and silent poems, we can remember the line we walk is thick with the aura of the primordial womb.
And with no apologies, we are born again. With no apologies, we are born again.
As though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and silent poems, we can remember. The line we walk is thick with the aura of the primordial womb. And with no apologies, we are born again. And for the last line of this poem, I will use this text by Bobby Louise Hawkins, who is an ancestor of the Kerouac School. These are her 15 poems. So let's see how she might help us close this poem. For Commencement 2020, a truly interesting year calling on our creative and imaginative resources in full scale. A pain meant to grow that grew, moving through and along. And so the whole poem reads, as though we grow, time will seem uncertain, but everything will be okay. We reach our roots deep into the soil, seeking water and nurturing our beings. When we lie in the quiet of forgotten memories and silent poems, we can remember. The line we walk is thick with the aura of the primordial womb. And with no apologies, we are born again. A pain meant to grow that grew, moving through and along. And so with that, I bow to each of you and to all of our graduates this year. Thank you so much for your work and for being here. And so it concludes our poem.
Oh, I'm really starting to like this thing. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Susan Burgraff. Susan is the brain trust at Naropa University and brings tremendous value to an incredibly important job, serving as Vice President of Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer at Naropa University. And Dr. Burgraff cares about and truly enjoys students more than just about anyone you will meet anywhere, not just at Naropa, but in academia. Susan?
Congratulations to our December 2020 graduates. Complexity scientist Scott E. Page talks about dancing landscapes. A dancing landscape describes a world characterized by volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity, and complexity, far beyond what we experienced even a year ago. The ground under our feet is shifting and demanding that we attune to matters of diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. The ground under our feet is shifting and demanding that we attune to the climate crisis that is well underway, to issues of environmental racism. The ground under our feet is shifting, and the contemplative education that you now embody has helped you learn how to dance with uncertainty and to dance with volatility and ambiguity. That ability to dance with complexity comes from the compassion that you have cultivated throughout your Naropa education, and it is the most important skill in this uncertain world. Arundhati Roy, Indian author and activist, said, and I quote, "Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. This one is no different. It is a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our prejudice and hatred, our avarice, our data banks and dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. Or we can walk through lightly with little luggage, ready to imagine another world and ready to fight for it." End quote. You are graduating into a world that is in the middle of a gap, where so much is falling apart, and what is required, as Roy describes, is to walk lightly, ready to imagine another world, and ready to fight for it. That world needs the knowledge and expertise that you embody, the capacity to engage in challenge with curiosity, your appreciation of diverse perspectives, your willingness to show up, to speak, write, and make art with open-hearted clarity, your authenticity and your compassion for yourself and for this planet and its inhabitants. When I reflect on the need to walk lightly, I think of Naropa's practice days and the classes where we do walking meditation together, moving forward slowly, mindfully, with open panoramic awareness. I think of warriors' exams, where students show up and have the courage to drop what they might have memorized and answer from their embodied understanding. Well, as a society, we're now in the middle of one big, long, slow warriors' exam, and you are ready to show up for the unknown next with mindful presence and compassion. And all the while, the ground under our feet is shifting. The world is changing quickly. There is a lot of frustration with the status quo. There's a lot of trauma that needs attention. There's a lot of linear thinking that needs disruption, and a world that is sorely in need of your creativity and understanding. You are uniquely qualified to meet this moment, and wherever the dance takes you, remember that you are a lifelong member of the Naropa community, and we love to hear from you. As you continue the dance after graduation, please stay in touch. Congratulations.
You know, as we go along here, as the semester has progressed, I'm feeling like a little more resilient and putting myself back together again in ways that are good for myself and my community, moving forward towards the moment we've all been waiting for, the announcement of our graduating students. Congratulations, graduates. You've worked hard, you've earned it. We're very proud of you, and it's been our pleasure to serve with you. Our graduating students' names will be read by Dr. Cynthia Drake, Associate Dean of Naropa College and Assistant Professor in Interdisciplinary Studies. While she's reading your names, I'll put myself back together again here. Dr. Drake.
Graduating with a Master of Arts in Religious Studies with a concentration in Contemplative Religions, Anthony Gallucci. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Art Therapy, Iris Irene. Lily Sophia Gallagher Rasnick. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Contemplative Neuroscience, Julie E. Lotz. Meagan Rose Provencher. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with concentrations in Contemplative Neuroscience and Somatic Psychology, Jonah G. Martindale. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Expressive Arts and Well-Being, Owen Sopa Bondurant. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Psychological Science, Katie Royce. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Psychology of Health and Healing, Gina Signorelli. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Somatic Psychology, Natashi Cabrera. Andrea Newcomb. Eshan Singh. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with concentrations in Somatic Psychology and Transpersonal and Humanistic Psychology, Tanya Nicole Luckenbaugh. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Transpersonal and Humanistic Psychology, Nena Salazar. C. Snyder. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Contemplative Psychology, Amaya Jade Mensinger. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Visual Arts and Contemplative Psychology with a concentration in Somatic Psychology, Svecha Rajbandari. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Yoga Studies and Contemplative Psychology with concentrations in Contemplative Neuroscience and the Psychology of Health and Healing, Lucas John Nelson. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Creative Writing and Literature, Morgan Graham. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Early Childhood Education, Katya Rose Friedman-Bush. Kelsey Marie Webb. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies, Sierra Hill. Margaret Mae Pierce. Alexandra Rose Timmermans. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies with concentrations in Art Therapy and Environmental Studies, Paige Eileen Burkhart Lima. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies with concentrations in Environmental Studies, Peace Studies, and Religious Studies, Daniel Joseph Hauser. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Nicole Goldsmith. Lily Kapiloff. Lenara Lively. Ashlyn Newcomb. Joe Oster. Siri Amrita Khalsa. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Music, Fiona Rose Small. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Peace Studies, Kendall Parker McCormick. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Religious Studies, Johanna Clarisse Hernandez. Jeremy Stephen Marple.
Appreciate you all so very much. Thank you, graduates, your loved ones, for being a part of it. In a moment, we'll close in our traditional way with a bow and a gong. It has truly been my pleasure to be your MC today. I wish I could have seen all of your smiling faces in person. And all of us here at Naropa look forward to hearing about your future successes as you go out and transform the world. You will be missed. Please stay tuned at the end for a series of short video messages from some of our graduates and families, as well as staff and faculty. And now, we close with a bow.
Good morning and congratulations to the graduating class of 2020. My name is Dr. Anne-Marie Klotz and I currently serve as the Dean of Students here at Naropa. While I'm relatively new to the university and your time here is coming to a close, I have already learned so much about this incredible community. I know it has been a challenging year for you and for so many, but the tools that Naropa teaches you around love, compassion, empathy, and resilience will no doubt help you at the next stage in your journey. Congratulations to our students, parents, families, and guests. Today is a celebration of all you've accomplished. Thank you and be well. Take care.
Congratulations to my dad, Anthony Gallucci. I'm so proud of you for graduating, and the best is yet to come.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud to have a father like you, who was such an inspiration to me and many others. And I know that with this degree, you're going to do amazing things to change this world. I love you, and I hope you have a great graduation.
Congratulations, Auntie Leanna. We love you.
Say hi, Liam. Yay, Leanna! We love you.
Hey, everybody. Kama Sutra here, your Naropa basketball all-star. When I wasn't on the court, averaging 2 points and 5.5 personal fouls a game, I was off the court hitting those books hard. And I'm glad to see that you guys were too. So, on behalf of the Buddha Ballers, I want to say congrats to the graduating class of 2020. You all really balled out.
I want to share a word of congratulations to our graduates. From myself and all the advisors, we have seen so much creativity, vulnerability, and resilience and how you have navigated to get to this point. We are so proud of you and excited for what you do next in this world.
Hey Lenara, it's Leslie and Brisket. We're wishing you the biggest mazel tov and congratulations on this incredible achievement. We love you.
Yeah. Lenara, you are such an incredible, creative, and unique person. I'm so glad to call you my friend. Congratulations on this incredible achievement. You really earned it.
Congratulations, my baby. We make me so proud of you. First in the family for a bachelor. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lenara. Amazing accomplishment. You're going to do great things. I love you.
Congratulations to Lily Rasnick, a powerful and beautiful warrior of conscious awareness, who has taken every opportunity that Naropa has offered for growth and maturity. Lily, you were born with a special mystical charisma, and you have chosen to develop that so that it best serves yourself, all of humanity, and the earth. I honor your deep wisdom and your choice to dig into your unique way of expressing your gifts in this life. Congratulations on this amazing accomplishment.
The Dalai Lama said something when it came to Seattle to make sure that school feels like home. And I think you found your school home at Naropa. And you in turn have inspired your family. Congratulations on this wonderful accomplishment. Go out and jump the spark. The world's waiting for you, honey. I love you.
Congrats, Paige!
Hi, Naropa community. Congratulations. I'm so excited for all of us. We made it. Okay, so I wanted to sing for you today, but I only have 30 seconds, so here we go. When you're weary and feeling small,